thank you for joining us. Folks, if you know me, and I hope you do, if you watch this show, you know I will do anything in my power to support our military, short of enlisting. That's why, frankly, folks, I cannot even look at our so-called commander-in-chief. Jimmy, can I get a picture of him, please? Thank you. He is always weakening our military preparedness and unit cohesion. First, he gets rid of don't ask, don't tell. Suddenly, an officer and a gentleman sounds like date night. Now, this.
The Department of Defense is thinking about spending millions and millions of your dollars to buy our Marines new hats, or as they call them, covers. And here's the problem. Apparently, not many want to wear them. Some people think the new hat looks far too girly.
Looks to me like the feminization of the Marine Corps.
Clearly the feminization of the Marine Corps. I mean, they're cutting off the balls of Montezuma. It's Semper Fi, not Semper Bi. And I'm not the only one who's enraged. New York's The New York Post said it looks like it came from the shops of Christopher Street. Well, then I have to assume the new hat is a neon mesh and secured with a ball gag. All right, Jim, let's see this new girly hat catastrophe next to the current design. Oh my God, look at that. I just cannot tell which one is the new one. Which one is the, it's the one on the right. The one on the right, yeah. Yeah, I hate those. It's so feminine, I'm just ovulating looking at them. And those hats might as well be made of tampons and copies of Eat, Pray, Love. I mean, those 2 inches of extra brim is the difference between Marine and Maureen. Now, sure, the Department of Defense says the proposed hat is based on the one worn by World War I hero and 2-time Medal of Honor winner Sergeant Major Dan Daly. What does that guy know about being manly? He's wearing 2 necklaces and a brooch. All that's missing is the matching earrings. Mark my words, folks, next Obama will have the Army Rangers in berets and dress the Navy up in little sailor suits. We're not selling Cracker Jacks here. Oh, and you can forget wearing camo. Soon our soldiers will all be wearing Georgia O'Keeffe paintings. That reminds me of something. If anything, folks, if anything, our military hats should be more manly. I say we make them out of beef jerky and shark's teeth. Well, that's just me. Folks, nation, folks. I don't need to tell you about all the charitable work I do. That's what my publicist is for. But I do it. And I realize I just said do. Point is, I'm a great guy. Even though I don't give to charity anymore, but it's not my fault. You see, our stagnant economy has taken its toll on all charitable giving. Donations to the top 400 charities are down this year. Even my charity, the Stephen and Melinda Gates Foundation, has had to cut back on our important work of figuring out what we were raising money for. We were this close to a cause. Fortunately, one organization out there is using the free market to create proper incentives for doing the right thing. And it brings us to tonight's word. Philanthropy. Folks, nothing tugs at the heartstrings more than animal charities. Although I, for one, don't know why Sarah McLachlan has imprisoned all of those dogs and cats. Let them go, you monster! And I believe it is especially important to protect our dwindling endangered species. Especially, folks, especially the black rhino. You see, there are only about 5,000 of these majestic creatures left in the world, down 96% since the mid-70s. Now, one of the reasons they've been dying out is poachers are killing them and harvesting their parts for traditional medicine. For instance, in China, it's believed powdered black rhino horn can cure a wide variety of ailments, from snake bites to devil possession. Wow. Those Chinese have some crazy beliefs. Everybody knows the way to cure devil possession is with holy water. Now, luckily, folks, one group has kept forward with a bold conservation plan. The Dallas Safari Club has announced they will save the endangered black rhino by auctioning off the chance to shoot one. It's like the old saying, if you love something, set it free. Then, when it has a bit of a head start, open fire. And folks, the Safari Club spokesman, Gain Young, is approaching the sensitive subject of sacrificing an endangered species for the greater good with all the gravity you could hope for.
The Dallas Safari Club will be auctioning off a black rhino hunt in Namibia at this year's convention. I'm just super stoked about this. It's worth it. Folks, the money goes to something incredible. The trophy is just astronomical. I cannot imagine having a black rhino. I cannot even begin to tell you how rare this is.
Best of all, the more you shoot, the rarer it gets. Now, the Safari Club is auctioning off a special rhino hunting permit from the Namibian government, expected to rake in $750,000, all of which goes directly to Namibia's Black Rhino Conservation Trust. And folks, the rhinos, if any of you are worried, the rhinos will never even notice. As Dallas Safari Club Executive Director Ben Carter said, black rhinos tend to have a fairly high mortality rate. Generally speaking, out of a population of 2,000, harvesting 3 rhinos over a couple or 3 years has no impact on the health of the rhino herd at all. Yes, there isn't much impact if you kill 1 rhino or 3 rhinos. Or how about this? We shoot all 5,000 remaining rhinos. That'll bring in $3.7 billion, and we can use that cash to keep one last rhino safely confined. Folks, this is the only, I believe this is the only practical way to save the species. Because as Dallas Safari Club Director Ben Carter further said, people are talking about, why don't you do a photo safari or whatever? That's great, but people don't pay for that. He's right, no one will pay for a photo. That's not a trophy. How are you going to hang a photo on your wall? But think about it. If we really want to raise some cash, you know what people do pay for? They pay for sex. To save this endangered animal, the Dallas Safari Club should auction off a night with a rhino. Now, I'm not saying, folks, I'm not saying that someone should go a black rhino. That's sick. I'm saying they should make love to it. Now, in the morning, that idea is very popular with the people. In the morning, you just leave $750,000 on the dresser. If you don't call the next day, she'll understand. Nation, this Dallas Rhino Club idea can raise money for all sorts of important causes. I mean, who amongst us hasn't seen a homeless man begging on the street and felt deep sadness that you could not hunt him for sports? I mean, New York City, think about this. New York City Opera just recently had to close for lack of funds. If only they had let us hunt the fat ladies. I mean, I happen to know their horns are an aphrodisiac in Norway. But you know what? You know what non-profit organization could really use this kind of fundraising technique? The Dallas Safari Club. I say we just auction off a chance to hunt one member. I mean, they'll understand. I mean, also, it's such a beautiful pelt. I mean, you know what? I might make a vest out of it. And that's the word. We'll be right back.